Hello and welcome to IGPP Expert Talks AI Special Series. I am Manish Tiwari, Director of Institute for Governance, Policies and Politics, New Delhi, and the host for this show today. Every technological revolution has created a new measure of power. There was a time when nations competed for land, then came oil, then semiconductors. And today, the world's newest strategic asset is artificial intelligence. But unlike previous revolutions, AI is not powered by a single resource. It depends on data, compute, chips, talent, algorithms, cloud infrastructure, and increasingly public trust. This has given rise to a new global ambition, sovereign AI. But what does that actually mean? The sovereignty means building our own AI models, owning the chips and compute that power them, controlling the data that fuels innovation? Or is it about ensuring that India's AI future is shaped by its own priorities rather than by technologies developed elsewhere? For India, these questions have never been more relevant. We are one of the largest adopters of AI. Yet, much of the technology we rely on is developed, trained, and controlled beyond our borders. So, is sovereign AI a realistic ambition, a strategic necessity, or an ideal that no nation can fully achieve? In today's episode of IGPP Expert Talks, AI Special Series, we explore what sovereign AI really means for India, where we stand today, and the choices that lie ahead. To explore these questions, we are joined by one of the leading voices in India's AI ecosystem, Mr. Ankush Sabharwal. Ankush is a national award-winning tech entrepreneur, founder and CEO of CoRover.ai and BharatGPT, fueled by a passion for developing innovative solutions that tackle both business and societal challenges. Honored as the Innovator of the Year 2024, the Entrepreneur of the Year 2024, and recognized among the top 10 AI influencers globally, his mission is to humanize technology through AI agents at CoRover, creating a more intuitive and conversational experience that mirrors human interaction. With over 2 decades in SaaS product development and leadership roles across the startups and MNCs in India, North America, and Europe, Ankush has driven multi-million dollar revenues and managed teams of over 1,200 professionals. Welcome to the show, Ankush, and thank you so much for taking time out for IGPP Expert Talks.
No, thank you. It was pleasure talking to you always, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you. And I want to come to the basic question what we are talking about. When we say AI for Bharat, how sovereign is India's AI ecosystem today? Can you explain it for our audience in brief?
Absolutely. So, as you rightly mentioned the word Bharat, I think the India part of it, they are well aware, self-empowered, and I think they'll find the way to navigate this AI challenge or probably leverage the opportunity. I think. I think the winner would be our as a nation. I think the best what we could do is making Bharat, leverage this AI not just as a technology to use, but a technology to leverage and create technology from this AI technology. Yes, I'm saying technology can be created with this technology. I think it's the first time that has ever happened in this history of mankind where we can churn out technologies, we can create apps, we can create softwares with AI, right? Not just vibe coding, much more aspects we'll talk about it. But yeah, see, AI, as Honorable Prime Minister also said, it should be inclusive. It's very, very important. I think there are multiple benefits. One is, of course, we will enable people, they'll use it and they'll learn and they'll upskill themselves, make livings for themselves, their family and society. But second is they become the creator, create solutions for India and beyond. Third, any AI is as good as the data it has, the users it has. So if you see, if I wear the entrepreneur hat or a businessman hat or AI developer hat, it's in my self-interest to make sure we get more and more users so that we make better and better products. Right? So this is the flywheel we want to get into. Currently, no one is, right? So you see how many users, say, any AI product you use, right? So even a billion users, 2 billion users are not enough, right? So to really create, when we are saying AI would help us create AGI, not possible with the current way it is even being adopted, right? So I think when we talk about AGI or super AI or God AI, so God is omnipresent, and we have to make AI present in every brain or every citizen. So I think India owning the majority of the users, citizens, and population. So we, I think, are rightly placed. Big opportunity when we become users to use, to create. We would, of course, serve our country, and we will actually serve the whole world to have kind of technology which is widely used, and it is kind of used in all aspect of life. So sorry, long answer, but that is
No, no,
something very
that's
close to my
always like,
heart.
because it's not a long answer. It's definitely because the way it seems to be little longer, so the answer has to be little long. I don't inhabit that fact. You have told just now that a lot of things are happening around India. A lot of new things are coming up. You yourself as an entrepreneur, and a lot of things you are trying with the government, with the industry, and a lot of other places. I want to ask you, where do Indian AI startups struggle the most? And what are the biggest barriers preventing us from developing globally competitive frontier AI models?
I think every startup has different challenge. I think will be difficult to summarize, and I think common answer could be probably the lack of the research budget or research oriented people or funding support. I think all of that is it's not the major issues or the challenges, right? So if you have the right vision, you have picked up the right problem to solve, so people join you, and there's no dearth of money, right? So if you do the right thing, why would not people like to join you as equity partners or co-founder, or even as a partner, as a client, right? So I think the challenge is, of course, picking up the right problem to solve. And if we do that, of course, we definitely need to convince or radiate the mindset you have, right? So then the ecosystem is there to embrace that and help you. So I think picking up the right problem to solve. And now you asked frontier model. So why that question? Why that question? So right, so why, maybe this is a question because that is building the world's narrative. So why do we have to chase the world's narrative, right? So I would not even consider this as a major question, because the people who have developed frontier models, so are they the winners? Right, so are they helping society? Are they making money? Or they are losing money of the people, are the investors, right? So I'm not saying that is right or wrong. I'm saying it's about picking up the right battles to kind of participate. So even pick ask more fundamental questions: what we want to do, and why
Okay.
we are not doing.
Definitely, I come to that. The government has partnered with Sarvam AI and BharatGen to develop advanced AI models designed to rival Anthropic's Mythos, with the aim of strengthening cybersecurity across critical infrastructure and reducing dependence on foreign technology. Do you think that is realistic given the resource-intensive nature of it?
I think if you say there is one solution which would solve everything, or one company would solve everything, or two companies would solve everything, I think we have to start with something. But I'm not sure how. Are we saying we'll compete, or we are just having a similar technology even at the lesser scale? I think that's definitely the right approach to start. And but I think again to the fundamental, right? So why are we having systems which are vulnerable to the security issues, right? So if not,
Mhm.
so if we build a model to uh, probably find those issues, and but the other side of the word, the hackers, and they take another step to kind of counter that, right? So I think we have to do the right thing, but I always think don't be too much vulnerable. Means if we are building technology, as cloud is accessible, we develop something, put everything on the cloud, even for the small solution which is say used in a small area or in just an organizational setup. So it's easy to use cloud, it's easy to use a trillion parameter model, is easy to develop solution with a trillion parameter model. And of course you will be more vulnerable because you have put things in the internet, you have used a large model for this to solve a specific pointed problem. So then we are already shooting in the air, and then we are saying, okay, let me build the security layer on whatever mammoth thing we have built. So
No,
if we
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with your perspective on it. That we definitely have to put in the right perspective. That what exactly, whether do we want to follow that same race or not? I think that is one thing we should be careful about. And historically, the disruptions in any era of technology or development in the history, there is always something new and there would always be some disruption to it. I think that's a part of the process. So I agree with you that, why should we get into that?
No,
Tell
I
me
didn't
another,
say that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have to get into that, right? See, when you say India, right? So India is big. So, right, we have to get into everything,
Mhm.
right? So try everything, but don't try the same way which others have done, right?
Yes.
So we are smart, we are intelligent. Why we have to do the same thing which others have done? So they have done it, right? So you do something different, you do something better. You don't have, we don't have to prove. We also do, right? We have to prove we do differently. The way we launched I think the sky route, I think at the cost which they have done, and the first time success, do something which others have not done, do in the way which others have not done. um, I think that will help us solve the problem at scale, the kind of scale we are and the kind of economy we have. So we don't have to, no need to have FOMO.
Are we doing something of that sort? Maybe, and if like, say you are trying that thing at Core Over and other things, can you tell me a little more about that? What exactly, like, when we are saying we want to do things differently,
Yeah.
what exactly we are trying to do?
See, I'm not saying we are doing everything right. I'm saying
Yeah.
if you have to build, yeah. So if you have to win this AI thing and leverage this opportunity,
Yeah.
so it is about what's different. And few examples I can tell you, like see, sovereign AI for that matter, right?
Mm.
When the world was celebrating the Chat GPT, and then of course Gemini and different names, Bard and others came in. So we were saying, no, 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 it's good. People are doing it. They have money. They should do it. Someone should do it. But we should do the sovereign AI for the country. And we were the first one in the world to came up with the concept, right? Then we had Mistral from France, and then DeepSeek from China, and many other, I think 10, 12 companies came in India to build the models. So sovereign AI was a good concept. So where we are saying we'll not build one large model, we'll build the small models, domain specific and use case specific. I'm not saying just settle with one domain. We can have multiple small models, right? So that's something which we did purpose led. The second one was when we built the first AI assistant in 2018, and then of course that kept improving. So we did not just got happy with this question answer thing, right? The chatbot thing,
Mhm.
which most of the LLMs are now using. So now now AI companies are talking about conversational commerce and agentic commerce. So we had done that 4, 5, I think 6 years ago. Like in train ticket, you literally speak and book the ticket and even pay also in the conversational way, right? So not just question answer, getting the train list or getting the list of the things. So you complete the transaction as if you're talking to a broker and completing it, or that travel agent. So we did not see what Word is doing on AI assistants and AI agents. So we found, when we are doing the discovery with the AI and the personalization with the AI, why don't we complete the flow? Now, say Gartner is saying, so there are multiple stuff which Gartner is saying if you have to win as an AI company. One of them was to really complete the life cycle, right? Don't just do one discrete thing with AI, do the complete cycle. Right. So that we had done much before any other company was thinking about it. Then on grievance, of course, in the conversational way, user is able to say, hey, mere ghar mein bijli nahi aa rahi, I'm not getting electricity at home. So we have done with e-Sevak, where we, of course, we don't expect user to know which department it is, which officer has to fix. User will just speak. We classify with AI which department it is. For that area, who is the right officer, we route it. And similarly for conversational monitoring, where for organizations including banks, for to help them proactively, reactively identify the issues in the banking systems and help them fix it. So you see, there are many things. Instead of just saying we have built one Bharat GPT and you ask any question about Bharat and it will answer. So we did not take that route. That we did with our Sarkar, which even Honorable Prime Minister has spoken about it. But this was more about, we have the model. So of course we'll have to work with the right domain partners, like say IRCTC in case of travel, NPCI in case of payment, and say SEBI in case of securities, LIC in case of insurance, and Bell for defense, and Delhi Metro for metro, and so on, right? So just AI company, you cannot answer everything. How can you answer everything, right? So you have, right? So we are experts in maths, numerics, and algorithms, but we don't own the data. No AI company knows the context much, right? We try to say, we try to mimic, I'm thinking, I'm doing reasoning, right? It's just a false layer on it, right? So to really do something meaningful, we need to partner with the right companies, because all the companies which I mentioned, they're not here for the vanity to show the valuation to rounds the fundings, right? So they're here was identified the right problem. They are fixing the right problem in the right way, and that's why most of them are profitable, right? So you will be profitable when you solve the right problems, and working with them, so they are stable, right? They know the problem. It's easy to solve the problem what they see as the problem, because when we fix their problem, it means the impact of that solution is large, right? And we will not just be shooting in the air, okay, let me build a product and figure out where we have to use it, right? So it's kind of this is something which I was saying, the purpose led approach, and do whatever is meaningful, instead of, because that is never ending story. Because earlier there were 3 billion parameter, then 10 billion parameter, then 70 billion parameter, 100 billion parameter. Now people are saying trillion, 1 trillion parameter, 2 trillion parameter, 2.5 trillion parameter someone announced last week, and they are giving free. And we are saying we will build 1 trillion parameter and it will come in 1 year or so. So that is never ending race, right? So if you pick the right problem, that the way India has done a great thing, we did not follow like other countries are doing digitization of identity, and we did that in Aadhaar, right? So we did not see what others are doing on the payment. We revolutionized the payment thing of peer to peer, and now with the merchants with UPI. So we have set the example. So similarly, we the 5G thing, we did that in a record time, and we did that with efficiency. Go to Silicon Valley and Go to the downtown area and check what internet speed you are getting there with their 5G. And you go to any village, even remote village, you go and see what speed you are getting with 5G here. So kind of, so we have done things with the record accuracy, record speed. We are capable. And
No,
now,
you have actually answered my next question, which I was coming to, that instead of following the race, what India should be doing, what it should be its priority. And you have already answered it, like, we are working with a purpose-led models. So in that part particularly, and when you gave an example of Aadhaar, of digital payments, of 5G, India has shown the way in a way. Like, that is, do you see, like, this is the in this race of AI, how are we placed, or I would say how we would fare in next 2 years or 5 years?
sure.
Is there a
And
chance that we might lag behind, or we might something of that sort?
sure. Before that, if I tell you the vision which we carry, I remember, I think maybe 3, 4 years ago, some media guys were asking Ashni Vaishnav sir about when is 5G coming. And I
Mhm.
remember sir was saying it will come in, I forgot, maybe it was September of that year or February of that year. And I think he said around 5 to 6 months before that actually the launch has happened. He said, we are
Mhm.
working on it. It'll happen in this month. And literally it was announced, right? 5G. So people were very even skeptical about the 5G would come or not. And we did that. And now also you see the kind of vision which Ministry of IT is carrying, not just now, right? What we have been doing for the last couple of years. The first, the GPU was required. They are giving GPUs as grants and as subsidy. And then the models were required. And as you know, the 10, 12 companies were selected to help them create the models. And then there were a lot of challenges were created to create multiple AI application. And then again data was required. They've launched AI coach, right? So you see which country in the world has done it, right? So now what is required is adoption, right? So we have GPUs, we have the models, we have the applications, we have the data. So nothing is 100% uh, perfect, right? Of course it's a journey for models and the platform
Yeah.
and the data, but we have, right, we started all of that 2, 3 years ago, and now we're in good shape. And now they're saying, let us do the adoption. So under Ministry of IT, NEGD has selected few companies, including us, to do the AI adoption in the whole country, and the center government, state government organizations, and PSUs, right? And so earlier, the government was funding the technology creators. Of course, they continue to do that. Now they are supporting funding the technology adopters, right? So I think with this, all this vision and the execution, and now focus on the adoption, I don't see any reason where we would lag behind. The kind of adoption which is happening in India, nowhere else in the world it's happening. Yes, so yes, ChatGPT is not owned in India. I understand DeepSeek is not owned in India, Gemini, Claude, but that is not the state testimony that it's being adopted, right? So these are the kind of infrastructure and the model. As if you go with a purpose-led model, sometimes BharatGPT 500 million parameter or 2 billion parameter serves the purpose where we don't need a trillion parameter model. But yes, so there are cases when we need trillion parameter model. Yes, then we partner with those companies and deliver jointly.
I think that's really an interesting, I would say, for me, it's an observation. But the kind of common narrative which is being created, oh, what would happen in AI, we will lag behind and not. I think that's where how you have explained the way Indian government and the industry has tried to adapt to it in terms of initially developing the fundamental models and everything. And now it's adoption. That gives a very, very, I would say, confident. It's the kind of confidence I'm really feeling good about it, that we can definitely be there. Like, we are there in a way. It's not that we just be there. Uh, when you are saying, like, on the first part, that is fine. But when we are talking about sovereign AI and we are talking about partnering also, does that fit into the sovereign AI model, what we are talking about?
See, what exactly is sovereign AI? Are we saying we would cut the cables and we will live in our own shell? One way we are
We
saying
cannot.
Vasudev Kutumbakam,
Kutumbakam.
right? And so on other extreme, I was just talking to my niece. I was saying we were, we spoke. She's doing BTech engineering, and she was asking me, Mamu, suggest me, what do I do? I said I cannot suggest now because I passed 20 years ago, but I was just thinking, is the society where I stay in? I think there are around 100 houses, and we my parents got day before yesterday 50th wedding anniversary, and they all gave the surprise. My sisters, they came from Jammu, one came from Rajouri, and it was kind of surprise here. And my mother has called all the society guys, and they were doing satsang, and people were kind of dancing, and some people were saying they were retired teachers, and all the skills, painters, teachers, doctors, all were here. They all were retired. So I'm thinking, why we should help each other, right? So when I need a teacher, why my son gets a teacher? We have a house tutor, and he comes 1 hour drive from other part of the city to us. He teaches my son. And when we already have multiple teachers here, and they don't have, they, right, it's not about
Yeah.
for the money. They can of course teach my kid, or if we request them, or if we give them the opportunity, or if they agree. So, and similarly, if cake comes from some other place, and someone came and they came as a gift, the cake, she said, I made it. You see, so why, when everything is in this house, right, in this society, why don't we help each other? I'm not saying do the barter, but at
Yeah.
least start giving, leveraging your experience and expertise, and help each other. So so uh, Starbucks we have, and so a lot of people will make coffee. You understand? So I'm saying, if we help each other, at least for the things which we are good at, which I want to do,
Yes.
right? If there is a need, there should be need. I should be happy to render those services, and I should also know how to render those services, and that we should help each other. So now, coming to this sovereign AI, see, whatever we are good at, right, whatever we have, build that, use that, solve our problems, right? And then whatever we don't have, I'm not saying, okay, I now need uh, I'm just thinking, which is not available in India, which is available outside India. Do we know anything?
No, everything is available nowadays.
Okay, so maybe if I have to watch Spider-Man movie, so
Yeah.
so maybe I have to watch in Netflix, or maybe YouTube, or go to this. So I'm saying, whatever is available, use that. If not, use that, right? So now, maybe see the GPUs probably, not probably, they're not built here, but we used it. I'm not saying there also we'll say sovereign AI, स्वदेशी chip use करेंगे, चलनी भी तो चाहिए, है ना? So, but whenever we have it, we'll use it. Currently, right, commons and caves, I usually say, some things we have to, sometimes we have to be in our own caves, sometimes we have to be in commons and inspire and get, inspire people and get inspired and help each other. So, see, most of the mobile phones we use, the devices we use, all right. So, I think,
I think
all for,
this is really this is an interesting thing the way you are putting it. Like, we are talking about Vasudev Kutumbakam, and we cannot really close down everything. And when we say sovereignty, it is not just about manufacturing everything at our own, but definitely have the capacity to utilize it as and when we want and where we want. I think that is something I feel is a new approach to sovereignty in terms of because in this whole I would say the global village we live in. We cannot really do away with that, oh, I wouldn't take anything from anybody. So that really is an interesting aspect of sovereignty we are talking about. I just want to have two more questions to you. One more, I would say fundamental, because and not because I am questioning it, but because I want to quell the doubts which people have. Like, what are the key gaps in India's innovation ecosystem? If you look at it as a country, as a government, what are the key gaps where we feel that there should be something more from coming from the government side?
See, uh, uh, you might think I'm exaggerating it, and even we had one round table with the honorable uh, IT Minister of State earlier, and he asked the same thing where the government can help. He said, literally, sir, I don't see any area where I can say that where everyone is around table with many other companies and they were suggesting we should do that. I literally did not find anything where because government is a step ahead. Would citizens ask like you give us GPUs free, that subsidize, or arrange data, right? You give us like startups are getting a lot of benefits when we apply for RFPs and tax rebates for startups. And as I'm now saying, the adoption of AI in the government of India wants that, and they're not saying even government companies would build for the government, right? So all six companies are private companies, right? The government selected us to implement it. I literally do not see anything which I would ask government. It's all up to us to uh, uh, kind of do that. Right, so where will I go? What will I ask? If you want, there are loans, collateral-free loans. There are grants and there's equity funding, the benefits on applying to RFPs, infrastructure.
And this
Wow,
is a really something very interesting. I'm finding, like, because usually industry comes with like, oh, we need this, we need that. But what you are bringing in terms of perspective of the industry which you are leading at the moment, that is really something. And when you are saying the government is a step ahead, that is the really very, very welcoming and confident thing I'm hearing from the industry. I'm really happy about it, and that is good. Now, the last thing, and this is the more again, like, the kind of thing I want to just question you or say, intrigue you a little. 10 years from now, when future generations look back at this moment, or they are right today, maybe, what will determine whether India succeeded or failed in building AI for Bharat? What would success actually look like?
I think we should stop complaining. Maybe I'm saying
Yes.
beyond AI. We should stop complaining. We should stop looking at the West, what is coming there, and to adopt or compete or give answer to that. Right? Sometimes we should think probably that side doesn't exist. Right? As earlier, we were the creators of many technologies. Right?
Yes.
See India 5,000 years ago and 400 years ago. So a lot of technologies we invented and get inspired by those. See what Aryabhatta has done and Bhaskar has done, and other. Even recently, I came to know Maharishi Kannad. He had given the laws of motion before it became famous by Newton. Even the LiDAR technology, CV Raman effect, and the wireless technology, Bose, and a lot of stuff. Even the USB thing was invented by Indian. So I think get inspiration from them. Start having the courage, we can create it. And I think 10 years from now, when we see more creators, right? Everyone should become the creators. Everyone should become the problem solver. And again, not for India, for everyone. Maybe you start with solving problem for yourself, right? Create your own personal agents, right? Then you see what problem your family is facing. You create it instead of asking for it, checking what other. Create it, right? Become the creator. Have that creator mindset. So if to do creation, if you want to study, study. If you want to do research, do. But create it, right? Don't just study because you just want to know, right? Then you want to write another book or you want to teach. Study to create. Do research to create. Don't just do research. I'll publish a white paper and let others pick up and they will create. No, everything should begin with the end in the mind. End is the creation. So everyone, every person should create whatever you want to create. Now I might be biased to say create with AI for anything, right? So create AI for healthcare, create AI for maybe family empathy, create AI to connect families, to create AI for healthcare, create AI for education, agriculture, whatever. So create. Now to create, you want to study, you want to talk, you want to do research, do whatever. But don't just be in half-baked thing. I just know, I just done research, I just are a student, I'm just asking things to give me subsidy, jobs, whatever. So be the creator. I think if that happens, we would definitely live in abundance. We will.
Must
I'm
say,
not doubting.
I I'm really happy, and I must say that it's not very often that industry particularly that talks positive about the government, positive about the society and the process, and I'm
And
really happy to hear you from that.
And sir, I'm not saying no. We are doing great. We are doing the best, and we have a lot of money. No, we have a lot of challenges, right? I don't want to tell challenges because my challenges are different. Everyone's challenges are different. So if we fail, so it would be just because of me, right? I would not. If I fail, it would not be because I didn't have this opportunity. I didn't have that connection, or I did not have the resources. Nowadays, you write to anyone, they will respond, right? So you can reach out to anyone, and people are definitely ready to help you. You have to take one step ahead. You need to think what's your vision and do. So people are there to help you. So all of that, you might think, now I have everything, and that's why I'm saying, no, I don't have anything. If I talk about and the vulnerable me, there's a lot of scarcity of everything that way. But if you don't execute, it would be just my failure. But I could see the government, the ecosystem, they are ready to help.
I think that's a really good note to end this interview. And I'm really happy, Ankush, that the kind of narrative or the perspective you are bringing in, it is creating a narrative which we really need as a society, and the positivity you are bringing in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time out for IGPP Talks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Ah.